What if Baidu just redefined the AI race? Welcome to this week's AI News Update. In this video, we'll explore how Baidu's new model has surpassed in DeepSeek and GPT-4, highlights from NVIDIA's GTC events, the latest features from Google's Gemini, and much more. NVIDIA, during this last GTC event, has always come out with significant advancements in AI. For AI data centers, they announced Blackwell, a new hardware architecture, and it seems powerful. Compared with the old generation, Blackwell is now capable of exascale computing in a single rack. Just to name another impressive number, it has memory bandwidth of almost 600 terabytes per second. As Jensen said, they are now counting everything in trillions. Continuing the lineup of computing solutions, they presented the DGX Station and DGX Spark. And according to Jensen, this is the computer of the age of AI. They are solutions designed for data scientists and AI researchers, and the hardware specification seems interesting. I mean, we're talking about a 72-core CPU, almost 800 gigabytes of unified memory, and a computational power of 20 petaflops in a single board. This is interesting for sure, but it will be more interesting to discover the prices of these boards. They also introduced NVIDIA Dynamo, a kind of operating system for AI factories, specifically designed to orchestrate AI agents at scale. It's too early for us to fully understand its power. We'll see in the future how game-changing it really is. And then they presented a new robot in collaboration with Google DeepMind and Disney, with whom they created a sophisticated physics engine. Kinda cute. Baidu, the Chinese search engine, has recently released two new AI models, Ernie 4.5 and X1. Ernie 4.5 is a model that, according to these benchmarks, has comparable performance, if not better, than GPT-4.5, which is a very expensive model. I mean, it is one of the most expensive ones ever released. Now, let's leave aside the discussion of GPT-4.5 because it has different goals, but even comparing it with a simpler to understand and cheaper model like the GPT-4o, it remains an interesting model, as you can see from these benchmarks. And then there is Ernie X1, the model with reasoning capabilities. According to what Baidu said, X1 has comparable performance with DeepSeek R1, but at half the price, which is really crazy, considering that R1 was already an incredibly cheap competitor of OpenAI O1. Here I've prepared a table for comparing some prices. What we can see from here is that GPT 4.5 is for sure out of scale with these prices. And what we can see also is that if the benchmarks are reliable, these are really good prices. I mean, both input and output prices are really half the DeepSeek prices. So yeah, really interesting. Now let's move on to the news from Google. This week, Gemini received different updates. The first I want to talk about is Audio Overview, a new feature of the Gemini Deep Research. Basically, after you complete a deep research, you can generate an audio overview, which is a kind of podcast. And that's it. As you can see here, it generated for me 10 minutes long audio podcast.
We're diving into NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture today.
Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, super exciting stuff. And, you've probably heard that it's the successor to Hopper in data centers and Ada Lovelace for us consumers.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to make sense of all this without, getting too bogged down in all the tech.
Pretty interesting. Also because after doing deep research, maybe you don't want to spend time reading all the long paragraphs. So I think this is a pretty convenient way of getting all this info. Also because you can download the audio file. Next, we have the Gemini Canvas mod. It works pretty similarly to OpenAI Canvas mod. It basically allows you to do some vibe coding for creating applications or even documents. In this case, I've asked Gemini to create a 3D scene, and through a couple of iterations, this is the final result. I can even see the source code and even share with others. This mod is really powerful, also because it is entirely free for everyone. Next, we have Notebook LM. This week, it has received an important update, which is the mind map update. In this example, I've pasted the news we are discussing today in this video, and it generated for me this mind map, which basically resumes the topics we are covering in this video. For example, let's see about Google Gemini features. Yeah, it was able to pick the correct subtopics, and the same for all the other topics. As you can see, we can expand all the different nodes. However, for the Notebook LM mind map update and even for the Gemini Canvas mod, we did some detailed videos. So if you are interested, you can check them out. This was an important week also for OpenAI, as they released different audio models and related features. More specifically, they've released two new speech-to-text models, GPT-4 on Transcribe and 4o Mini Transcribe, that are models that will replace the old Whisper models while keeping the same price. And then we got a new text-to-speech model, GPT-4o Mini TTS, and it is pretty interesting, as for the first time, when we use an audio model from OpenAI, we can not only specify the voice, but also we can give instructions about the emotions, the tone, and in general about the vibe. Also, they've released a platform, OpenAI.fm. It is a demo application in which we can simply connect and play a little bit with the voices and the settings. For example, let's pick something. I'm choosing a random vibe.
Whoa, dude. Sounds like a gnarly situation with your card. But hey, no worries. I got you.
Okay, pretty interesting. And as you can see, everything is handled using this prompt. So yeah, we can specify details about the voice, the pronunciation, the tone, and so on. Even Grok received a couple of small updates. The first I want to talk about, as you can see, is the edit image mode. In this case, I've uploaded a base image and asked Grok to put the Elon Musk face. And this is the result. Yeah, I think these mods will be pretty useful for create memes and stuff like this. The other update is related to the deep research, or better, the deeper research. Basically, it is like the deep research, but maybe deeper. Currently, the difference does not seem to be noticeable. Perhaps it will be improved in the next few days. For now, it seems to be the pretty same stuff. And that's it. These were the most interesting AI news for this week. Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments.